All right, I think it's almost about 12 noon, and we might as well start talking because I can't stand awkward silence anymore. How you doing, Nada?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good. It's registration season, and we began this week, and man, wow, a lot of people are registering for camp right now. That's pretty exciting. Um, it's kind of weird when you're doing the camp thing. Camp happens for like 10 weeks max, but you spend like 9 months making the 10 weeks happen. Something finally starts to happen, it's pretty exciting. So, anyway, I'm just super excited. Let me introduce myself. My name is Mike McDonald. I'm the president of Kidventure. This will be my 32nd year of camp, and I couldn't be more pleased and more excited about 2026. And we've got a lot to talk about today. We're going to talk about a lot of things. There's some things we're not going to talk about because we have other webinars that are coming up in the spring here that are going to dial into specific things. But we'll go through an agenda and everybody can kind of see what we're going to talk about. This is going to be recorded. So if you're not watching this, that's okay. We're going to have it, we'll post it on the website and then it'll be on YouTube as well. But before we get going with anything, I want to introduce um, two very important people for Kidventure. The first is Nada. Nada Galan, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Hi, everybody. I'm based off the Houston office and I'm really excited for summer.
Nada is our camps coordinator for Houston. So she's really in charge of summer camps in their entirety for the Houston area. And also joining us, brand new mom, Nicole. How are you doing?
Good, Mike. Thanks for having me. Good afternoon, everyone. I am honored to serve as the DFW's camps coordinator, as well as co coordinator for our overnight camps program in the Hill Country.
More important, are you getting any sleep right now with the new baby?
We are very blessed. She's a great sleeper, so we've been lucky since day one.
Wow, that's amazing. Congratulations on that one. I don't think all mine were like that at all. In fact, I don't know if any of them were. I could have ever said that about that. So amazing to have you both here today. It's real important because we're going to cover a lot of things, and you guys are so integral in answering those questions. We will have a Q&A at the end of this session. So if you have questions, put those in the comment section, and then I will pull those over when we get to the Q&A section. So if you think of a question, drop it in the comments section so you don't forget it, and we'll get to that. But let's talk about the agenda for today, you guys. So here's we're gonna talk about the Kidventure Way. Look, the most important part of who we are and what we've done for 32 years is really about why we do what we do, not actually what we do. We have a lot of purpose at Kidventure. We're going to talk a little bit about that and touch on that. Then we're going to go into the summer camp. All right, and every summer we theme our summers, and this year's called Game On. We'll talk a little bit about that theme. Then we're going to break it down into our programs. Okay, so for summer day camp, we run three programs: Discovers, Explorers, and Leads. We're going to break those down, um, give you the basics on that, and talk a little bit about curriculum and activities and what these campers are doing. Then we'll talk about what's new for 2026 because there's a lot new for 2026. So for those of you guys who've been to Kidventure and you're looking to hear about that, we're going to cover that for sure. Then we're going to turn our attention to the camp team. Probably the most important part of your child's camp experience at Kidventure is the counselors, the directors, the staff that interact with our campers. And then we'll talk a little bit about registration, which I told you has begun, at least for priority. Tomorrow, we open registration to the general public at 9 a.m. We'll go over all that, give you the sort of the nuts and bolts of that. And then we'll finish with the Q&A, all right? And I'm going to try to stay under an hour here so I don't use any more of your lunch break. And if you're joining us today, I really, really appreciate the opportunity for you to be with us. All right, so let's get cranking. We like to say around here that Kidventure is more than a camp, and it's a launch pad for life. And what I mean by that is, look, we had this unique opportunity. We know this. We knew this 32 years ago, and we know this probably even more now today than ever before, that camp is this unique opportunity to impact the lives of kids, right? We don't just show up with a bag of balls and play games and have fun in the moment and then go home. Everything at Kidventure is very intentionally and purposefully designed because we're concerned with outcomes, right? We want confidence in our kids, and camp provides us this great opportunity to instill a sense of confidence and independence. Friendships. I don't think there's a better place to make real world friendships without any technology, without any social media than camp. And camp's about sort of these meaningful connections through shared adventures. There is no screen time, no technology at Kidventure, just real kids interacting with real kids and real staff, and opportunities to build friendship. Independence. Like, as a parent, I've got 4 kids. I want my kids to grow up to be self sufficient, to be independent. And I don't think there's another platform other than maybe home that teaches independence like camp does, right? We take opportunities to try new things. There's risk involved at times. There's team building. There's taking care of your own stuff. All this stuff, whether you're 3 years of age at camp or you're 16 years of age, is in part designed to help foster and create independence in your camper. And lastly, and I think most importantly, a sense of belonging. Why do people go to camp? Why is camp this traditional thing in our country that we've done for so long? I think one of the things is because camp is a powerful way to make people feel a part of something important that's bigger than themselves. And that sense of belonging is real important at Kidventure. Nate, do you want to add anything more to that with regards to the purpose of camp?
Yeah, I think there's something for every camper at our camps. They'll find interest whether it's in a rock wall, right? They'll start picking that up. Another thing like crocheting. So there's something for every camper. It's not everybody belongs, right? That sense of belonging. They'll find their friends, whether they just connect during the summer. But it's really a sense of belonging, and there's something for everybody to do at summer camp
Yeah.
and that they
Anything
will
to add
enjoy.
to? Yeah. Anything to add to that, Nicole?
I think she hit the nail on the head with saying that, there's a place for every camper. I think we do a good job with our 4 cornerstones of exploration, physical activity, creativity, um, and of reflection, that we really find a place for kids of any interest that they can kind of jump in and enjoy the activities that we're doing at camp.
Yeah, and I think that and you'll hear a lot of us talk about this. We'll use things like crafted and purposeful and designed. And what I mean by that is when we plan our curriculum, we're planning that curriculum with the intention of creating outcomes, right? Uh, I want to have kids to have a great, fun, safe time at camp in the moment, absolutely. But I also, and maybe even more importantly, I want them to go home with a greater sense of self-confidence and self-worth. This opportunity that they learned how to make a friend that day. They did something that they thought they couldn't do before, and that instilled a greater sense of bravery. It is really about the outcomes at camp, and I'm proud to say that we do a really good job of that. And I think if there's anything that we're known for, it's probably those outcomes, which people sort of understand Kidventure to be. So um, it takes on such a prominence and importance in why and how we do camp. Um, all right, so let's turn our attention. That's our philosophy. That's who we are. That's our foundation to the summer. All right, it's called Game On. Nada, you've been so engrossed in like this theme for so long now. Give us what is Game On, and why did we decide to build our summer around this particular theme?
Yeah, so Game On is really bringing the retro games, board games, to live to Kidventure. So we wanted to find a way where parents can connect with their campers when they pick up or drop off, and they both know what they're talking about, right? So it's a spin-off of board games, sorry. So like Olliopoly is spin-off of Monopoly, Lady Lightning Lamb is a spin-off of Candyland. So we took all these board games that you can play as a family and turned it into KB, right? So it gives you talking points when you pick up and you're dropping off your campers. You can start playing them at home, and really going into something that parents and campers can connect with.
Yep. So every week, for those of you who might not know, is a unique week at Kidventure, right? And so there's a total of 10 weeks. Not every site has 10 weeks. Some will have 7 or 8 or 9, some 10. But each of those camp weeks is going to be a unique camp experience, right? And that unique camp experience this year is going to have to do with board games. Now, does that mean we're playing board games all day long? No. We've taken the concept of the board game and applied it to everything: athletics, to games, to art, to science. Wherever it makes sense, we've sort of adopted that theme in our curriculum. It makes what we do very varied, from week to week so that your camper doesn't go to week one and is repeating the same thing on week two, three, and four, and so on. We want every week to be a unique um, experience. All right. So, anything more to add about the theme? Nicole, are you excited about the theme this year?
I have loved our themes in the past, but I truly am most excited for this one, incorporating all the different board games into different counselor challenges or projects or centers that the kids will be doing has been so much fun, and I can't wait to see it come to life this summer.
It's pretty exciting. I'm looking forward to it. All right. So, at Kidventure, we don't just group our kids from 3 years of age to 16 years of age into one group and say, go. No. Everything is very purposeful and everything is very age appropriate. And so at Kidventure, there are 3 summer day camp programs with which you can choose. The first of which is called Discovers, right? And it is our early childhood camp for kids ages 3 to 5. And I mean, Nicole, why don't you talk to us a little bit about the Discover program in general? What is so special about that age group that's 3 to 5?
Well, we recognize what a important informative age that is, and so we kind of tailor our curriculum to work on those fine motor skills that we know are so important to develop in that age range. We work on communication skills with each other, finding ways to make friends. A lot of times this is the first time a camper has experience working on a project with other children of that age, so really focusing on that and allowing kids to grow into a leader and a better communicator and finding things and activities that they gravitate towards. A lot of the times it discovers this is the first time they can experience that. So projects where we can tailor, and also recognizing that a 3-year-old's development is a lot different than a 5-year-old's development. So we
Yeah.
incorporate that to our curriculum.
You
And they
bring up
might be doing the same activities, but there's different variations that we do for those age groups.
right, and we call that scaling scaling a project or whatever. Um, um, Nate, give us kind of the nuts and bolts of the Discover program. And I know this is very similar to the other programs in terms of times and days, but run through those so everybody kind of has an idea of the framework of the Discover program.
Yeah, so just some basic information, right? Our ratio is actually 1 to 7. So for every 7 campers, there's a camp counselor with them. And we typically like to pair them. So 2 camp counselors to 14 discovers. And we group them in ages, right? So we have our 3-year-olds together. We'll have a mix of 3 or 4 or 4 or 5, but we'll group them in ages. We'll start every day with circle time and calendar time, and what that is we'll pick a book and we'll use an app called Novel Effect. And what it does is really bring the book to life, right? So we'll play these special effects as we're reading, and we'll go through the calendar, talk about our day, what are we going to be doing, really setting those expectations to give them a little bit of routine throughout the day. Some of the activities that our discovers do is they do rock wall, as you can see in the picture. They're really fast because they're so tiny and they're so brave, and they're typically faster than our other groups. They'll also do what's called archery tag, and that's very much bow and arrow. But with our discovers, it's more of a target practice, right? We're not really playing games; it's teaching them to be comfortable with the bow. So that's really exciting. And then they'll have Splash Day Plus once a week. And then our discoveries are so tiny they can't go on a bus for field trip, but we'll bring an in-house field trip to them. So whether that's a petting zoo, whether that's an inflatable, they'll have that come to them, and they'll just kind of rotate throughout the day. As a parent, at the time of registration, we also have what's called a chill time. Essentially, it's our nap time, and you can choose whether you want your camper to participate in chill time or not participate in chill time if they're kind of aging out of their nap. um, our 3-year-olds are typically the ones that are participating in chill time, and we'll do that throughout the day. And if they don't participate, we'll give them some activities so they can decompress and start all over again for our afternoon rotations. But that's really the basics of our discoveries. Really, really fun group. I really enjoy this group because it's typically the age before they go either to daycare or school. So parents are kind of testing the waters on how school will go when they bring into camp. So it's really exciting to talk to parents when they come to camp for the first time. And it's the parents' first time too to drop off their kids.
Yeah, I don't know who's more nervous when they drop off their Discover, a parent or the kid, but it's usually the parent. I think after 32 years
Yes.
of watching drop off for Discovers, I think the parent is, the kids are usually fine. They get in there and in 5 minutes, they're like
Yeah.
going a million miles an hour, right? And,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and it's amazing. I mean, these kids are going, they're doing rock climbing, they're doing archery. They're experiencing so many things, but I think the most important part of that Discover program is really the social piece, right? Learning how to
Mm-hmm.
interact, and create a social, emotional maturity through all the activities that we're doing, right? And I think that's one of the big takeaways for the Discover program. Um, just so everyone kind of knows, when we operate in a Discover program or an Explore program or a Leads program, that is a sort of a self-contained camp program within a campsite. And what I mean by that is they have their own facilities, they have their own staff, their own director, their own curriculum. They operate as their own camp, even if we're running an Explorer program or a Leads program at the same facility. So just to clarify that, um, they really operate on their own. Uh, Nicole, anything else you want to add about the Discover program that might shed some knowledge or highlights for anybody?
No, I see a picture of silent disco. I know our discovers really like doing that, and just like our explorers and leads, every week is a different experience for the kids, and
Yeah.
seeing them grow up even through our programs. So I have a lot of discovers that I've known since they were 3, and then are aging out of our explorers program. So it's a wonderful kickstart to their education, and it's an honor to be a part of that development with them.
So they affectionately like to call themselves the blue shirts because they wear that
Mm-hmm.
blue shirt that you see right there in all the pictures. And when they finally graduate from Discoverers, meaning they're going into first grade in the fall, they become what we call an explorer. An explorer is entering first grade through fifth grade. All right. Um, Much like the Discoverers, they're a self contained camp with their own directors, their own staff, and their own curriculum. The focus here is obviously a little bit differently, right? So we're no longer an early childhood kid. We're a big kid now. They like to call themselves the red shirts, and they're ready to do more and more. And our curriculum really dictates that. Same thing in terms of timing and days, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. with the option for post camp, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Our ratio is a 1 to 10 ratio. Once again, we scale everything. So we're grouping by age, meaning 6-year-olds aren't playing dodgeball with 12-year-olds.
Correct.
Six-year-olds are with 6-year-olds, 12-year-olds. Plus, no 12-year-old really wants to be with a 6-year-old. I'll be honest with you. If you have two kids and they're of different ages, they'll see each other in passing. They'll see each other at opening ceremonies and closing ceremonies, but they're going to be in their own small groups, with their counselors, and that's sort of how it's done. One of the big differences, right, is field trip, right? So explorers have a field trip once a week. We travel on full-size luxury touring buses. We travel to a variety of places that we've gone to for 32 years, and it's probably one of the kids' favorite things to do. I would probably say is get on that bus, crank up the stereo, and head to the field trip. I want to talk a little bit more about the curriculum, so that we can make sure that we don't skip that. Um, Nicole, talk to us about what the explorers are doing during the week and sort of give us the variety of activities.
So we incorporate all 4 of our cornerstones into every day of camp. That's our creativity activities, physical activity, exploration, and reflection. So there'll be activity tailored to that specific cornerstone every single day of camp, and a different activity for the next day. Explorers will be working on a curriculum plus project as well, is something really cool that they can take home at the end of the week that they might be working on for 2 or 3 days of the week and get to take home at the end of the week. So it's really fun to see that finished product. It really encapsulates both of our exploration and our creativity cornerstones in that project, and they're different for every single week. And we try to tailor some to our game theme as well. So that's going to be fun to see and incorporate this summer. But it's definitely a variety. Like Nada said earlier, there is a home for any kid of any different likings. They can find kind of their place at camp, whether that's rock wall or archery tag or a curriculum project or maybe yoga after the afternoon to kind of calm down. So there's definitely a good variety for all of our kids in our Explorers program.
Yeah, very active program for sure. Um, if you've not been a part of Kidventure in the past, one of the rewards of Kidventure is that your kids go to bed at night really easy. And that I don't think you can pay for, right? Um, because we're an extremely active program. We don't watch movies. We don't sit around behind screens. We are active from 9 in the morning or 8 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon, and then post camp. So very active camp program. All right, so that's Explorers, right? The red shirts. And when you graduate from the Explorer program and you're heading into 6th grade, you become a lead. And lead is entering 6th grade through 9th grade. So this is just, I guess, middle school is probably the best way to describe that, the middle school kids, right? But a really different focus here, okay? We recognize that middle school, 6th through 9th grade, is the crossroads for kids, right? And we want to make sure that our curriculum is designed to help set them on a path where they become confident, they become sure of themselves, they make good decisions, they have good, strong character, right? And so we shift our curriculum at the leads age to be a little bit different. Yes, we're doing archery, yes, we're doing rock climbing and athletics and things like that, but leadership development is a big piece of what we do. And every week we design a curriculum to help foster that leadership and that character with all of our kids. We do that a number of ways. One of those is through a community service project each week. They might be planning it, they might be implementing it, but it's something the kids love tremendously. We believe that one of the best ways to foster leadership is by giving back. That community service project serves a huge purpose with regards to that. They also have what's called core, where they have discussions each week. They talk about things. We have Leads Lounge, where the kids can just hang out and talk. Because when you're in 6th grade or 8th grade or 9th grade, you don't always want to be having every moment of your day scheduled. You want some times where you can chill and you can hang out and you can talk and we can bring up discussion topics. So that's a big part of the day too as well. I don't know, Nada. I know you're a huge fan of the Leads program. What is it you love about this particular camp?
My favorite thing about the Leads program is they're typically in a location where there's discoverers and explorers, right? And our explorers really look up to our leads, right? And everything that they're doing. So our leads, even though they're not junior counselors, but they are taking those leadership skills that they have learned and applying it to their everyday, right? Whether that's showing the example for explorers, talking through, respecting themselves. My other favorite thing about the leads program is they do help a lot with the discovers read aloud. So our discovers counselors will welcome, a group of leads to do the read aloud for with the discovers, and it's really fun to watch. And the discovers eyes just light up when they see the big kids come in, and that's really rewarding, right? And the leads look forward to that. I think Mike taught a little bit about this is the community service piece. It's a very big piece for our middle school group. And we do sign community service hours. So if you bring the paper that you need from school, we'll sign it off. So they're accumulating hours throughout the summer.
Yeah, that's a great point. Those community service
Mhm.
hours with those certificates that we provide them are super important. I will tell you too, and I don't know the total number on this, but I don't know how many leads counselors have become full-time summer camp counselors with
Mhm.
Kidventure once they turned of age, which for us is 18. But they make some of the best counselors for Kidventure because they've been in the program all their life and they've grown up. And Leeds is a really great, whether that's with Kidventure or someone else, a great training ground for sort of those leadership skills and applying those to a job as well. And so, super proud of that. All right, so that is Leads, that is Explores, and that's Discovers. I'm going to touch on a couple other programs. The first of them is Inventure. We do run Inventure. This is a STEAM program. And I think this year, Nicole, we are running this program in Dallas. Am I right about that? I think so. It is a full day program, 8 to 3 p.m. It is for kids entering 1st through 5th grade, so really the Explore age group. We divide that into two teams, first through third grade and then fourth through fifth grade. It's led by educators and specialists in science and STEM, and there's a focus each day of that. I'll show you that focus. Monday, we focus on science. Tuesday, technology. Wednesday, engineering. Thursday, art. Friday, mathematics. And it's all sort of wrapped up in this Kidventure way of doing camp, which is very hands-on, very fun, very interactive. You still get opening ceremonies and closing ceremonies. If that's something, and that's a very specialized program that we run, you can go to the website, learn more about the STEAM program as well. All right. I think I'll bring us all back together here. Looking ahead to the summer, Nada, and Nicole, and feel free to jump in. I want to take, parents always ask me, what is going to be new about Kidventure this year? What's happening that's different? And I think at Kidventure, we're always looking to improve both the experience of our campers and then that of our parents, our families too, as well. And, I feel like this year more than ever, we have really implemented a lot of new things. We have a lot of initiatives, and I'd love to turn my attention and sort of talk about that. Um, and we're going to cover sort of the following things. The first is Ollie's Circle loyalty program, and I'll get into that in a second. We do have new camps that we have brought on this year in all three cities, and so we'll cover that. Um, the Leads programs, in terms of our curriculum, what we're doing has been expanded a little bit, and that's new in Dallas as well too. And then expanded Inventure STEAM camps, and then session options visible on an app. So let's sort of dive into those, if you will. Here, let's see here. Let me close that off. All right. So the first one I want to talk about, which is gaining the most traction and questions about, is Ollie's Circle. So we created a loyalty program in the off season, and just in the last 2 days, unfurled that. And essentially, what it is for a lot of our families that choose Kidventure as their primary place where they come during the summer, we really wanted to create an opportunity to benefit them. And what that means is 6 or more weeks in your account. That could be 2 kids in 3 weeks or 1 kid in 6 weeks. But when you enroll for a combined 6 weeks on your family account for summer day camp, you unlock sort of exclusive savings and opportunities to provide you with sort of camp perks. Okay. The first is priority registration, which we had already. So anybody last summer that attended 6 or more weeks in their account was invited to register early. The second is free post camp. Okay. When you sign up for 6 weeks of camp, we're going to say, okay, you get free post camp. That's that time from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock every day of the week. All right. And then the last perk is 10% on any weeks over the 6th week. All right. Now, we have a web page that's set up at Kidventure called Ollie's Circle that talks about the program, right? And anybody can be a part of that program, but the threshold for that program is 6 or more weeks. Okay, so keep that in mind. I know that's gotten a lot. It's been very popular so far. We've gotten a lot of feedback on it, and it's our way of just sort of saying thank you and helping our families out who are using Kidventure, quite a bit. All right, so I'm going to get rid of those. All right, new camps and programs, and I'll start with Houston. Nada, why don't you go ahead and take that?
Yeah, so in Houston, we have three essentially programs, right? Locations. We have Camp Heritage, which is in the Oak Forest area, and that location is going to serve discoverers and explorers. If you're familiar with the Houston summer camps, it's right next door to St. Rose. So if you happen, to get on a wait list for whatever reason, Heritage is right next door. So that's a new camp location. That facility is beautiful. It actually used to be a high school, and now it's a elementary school, right? So they have amazing fields, amazing facilities inside. It's huge. So that's a new camp location in the Oak Forest area. The other one is Camp CEE, and that's in the Rice University area, and that's actually only going to serve explorers. So if you're in the museum district or in the medical center, that's a perfect location for you. And then new, but not a new campsite. St. Rose, in the past, has served our discoverers and explorers. We felt the need to open a program for our leads, and that's our middle school group. Anybody entering sixth through ninth grade. That age group sometimes is underserved, right? And we have a lot of campers that were aging out of explorers, and they needed a place to go. So we partnered up with St. Rose and we opened that program for them. So we're super excited um, for St. Rose Leeds in all three locations essentially.
That's great. Yeah. Um, in Austin, we're opening a brand new camp called Camp Blaze. Amazing camp location. It almost feels like overnight camp. So for those of you guys who live in the Austin area, Hamilton Pool Road area, right there near the Rocky Creek subdivision is a private school called the Blaze School. And we have partnered with them to run Kidventure there during the summertime. So that is going to be in the sort of Hamilton Pool Road, Dripping Springs, Bee Caves area. That will serve both discoverers and explorers. And then at our existing camp, Camp Round Rock, in the Round Rock area, we've added leads. So we're excited about that. We've added the leads program there in Austin now. And we know of a lot of parents who've been asking for that. It has happened, and we're proud to have that. And then in DFW, Nicole?
We've are so excited to announce we'll be returning to All Saints. So we'll be running our Discovers and our Explorer program there, as well as our Adventure Week for week 7. So super excited for that to serve families in Northern Dallas, Plano, Allen, Murphy. That would be the camp location for you. And then super excited to be introducing leads to Kessler, Little Elm, and St. Patrick for this summer. So those programs will all have discovers and explorers at their campsite as well. So I'm really excited for that opportunity for our campers who are aging out or are interested in the area and in that age range to dive into that program.
It's great. Um, a small addition for this year, but I think one that parents who've been with us in the past will really appreciate. And that is that let me see, I'm gonna pull this here. Let me get this in front because it's, there we go. So at Kidventure, we have a summer camp app. It is really required for everybody to have it because it is how we will do drop off and pickup. It creates a unique QR code, but it's also a really neat app to have because we load up pictures on it during the week. You get to keep up with what your campers are doing at campsite. It has a notification functionality, so we'll send out notifications maybe about weather or whatever it might be. But now, and you can also register from the app too as well. In the past, you've not able to see your tuition options like post camp and lunch and that kind of thing on there, and now you can. So everything is now visible on the app. If you know what I'm talking about, you're probably happy to hear that. So everything will be on the app and visible for you, whether that's regular weekly sessions or the session options now too as well. All right, so I want to turn our attention to registration. We're in the midst of it right now, and it's honestly, it's kind of amazing. The phone is ringing off the hook the last 3 days. Tomorrow we open up to the general public. And so if you're one of those that has never been with Kidventure, I want to run through the way you register, okay? So all the registrations at kidventure.com. You'll notice on there, there's a Houston page, an Austin page, and a DFW page. Just go to your page. That's usually the easiest thing to do. Once you're on that page, you can drill down to the exact location. There's a finder on there. You can plug in your zip code. It will help you locate a campsite that's most convenient for you. And when you finally determine your exact location, it's time to register. So in those buttons that say register here, register now, that will be visible tomorrow, you'll just click on that button, okay? Register for any sessions that you would like. It's up to you. You can always add weeks. We have no sort of deadline for registration. The only deadline per se is when a camp is full. And then still, we urge people to get on a wait list because people's schedules change throughout the summer. You know, they go on vacation, it just changes. There's no fee for getting on a wait list, and it automatically pulls you onto the list and sends you out a notification and gives you, I think, 24 hours or something like that to accept that. But I would urge that. Now, some of our sites are filling or are already full. I will tell you that right now. But the majority of our campsites still have spaces, and so you have a lot of options out there right now. All that is required at the time of registration is a $100 deposit for each session. Okay, that's applied towards your tuition. After April 30th, full deposit is non-refundable, so keep that in mind. Okay, we do have an insurance option this year, and I think it's somewhere between, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, Nada, 10 and 15, 20% of the total cost of camp. If you choose that option for insurance, you can cancel at any time for any reason and have a full refund on your sessions. That's new for this year, and I probably should have put that
Yes.
in the what's new for 26, right?
Yeah, and that's actually through our registration system.
Mm-hmm.
So at the time of registration, you'll see it at the very bottom if you want to opt in to an insurance option. It's completely optional. You don't have to do it. But given I know people's plans change for whatever reason, weather. In the summer we get a lot of hurricanes in the Houston season. This kind of guarantees your money back, right? Kind of like
Yeah.
when you go on a trip on a vacation, you get that vacation insurance. It's same kind of deal for insurance for camp.
Yeah, and I think so far what we've seen is a lot of parents are really choosing to use that option. I've seen a lot of people opt in to that policy. I think there's probably some peace of mind is associated with that. If you don't, then you just follow our registration deposit refund policy, which we list pretty clearly there on the website. Okay. And then final balance for each week attending, if you haven't already paid in full, is going to be due 10 days prior to each week attending. Okay. And we communicate with you really well on those kind of things. And most of those are just drafted. Um, Anything to add with regard to registration that I'm missing, Nicole or Nada?
A big piece here before tomorrow, the general registration is probably to visit our website, look at the location you want to look at. Some of our Explore programs do differ in what they do, and the big difference is swim. Some locations have a swimming pool where they swim twice a week, and some parents don't feel comfortable with their campers swimming, and that's totally okay. But then you can find a nearby location that doesn't have a pool and they don't swim.
Right.
So that's important to go do beforehand. I do want to say we do swim test our campers before they go in the pool. If we feel for whatever reason, whether they're tired or they just can't comfortably float or swim, we'll automatically put a life jacket on them regardless and restrict the area that they're in. You as a parent can also call us and say, please don't swim test them, just automatically put them on a life jacket and we'll do that. So important thing to do is just check the website for the camp location you want to go. If they do have a swimming pool, just know that they will be swimming twice a week.
Yeah. Great.
Mhm.
Nicole, anything to add to registration?
I think we hit it all.
Yeah, I think some obviously not every parent knows their summer schedule, and we get that, right? You can always call the office, add weeks later on, email us, go back on, log into your account because you're going to create an account for yourself and add weeks. If you're trying to gauge it, whether or not you should do it now or later, we'll call us up, let us know. We'll let you know how many kids are already enrolled in that program and whether or not it's going to shut down soon or something like that. We will certainly work with you and help you as you get to understand better your summer schedule. Okay. Um,
Yeah.
all right. So that's registration, and I want to before we get to Q&A, there's a couple things that I want to do, and I want to speak about our camp team because at the end of the day, the most important part of any summer camp program, I don't care if it's Kidventure or whatever, is the camp team, right? We can have the greatest facilities in the world and the most amazing activities and all that good stuff. If you do not have a group of individuals who come together for the right reasons, who are professional, who are safety conscious, who are well vetted, who love kids and want to be a part of helping nurture them, then you don't have a camp program. And if there's anything that Kidventure has emphasized behind the scenes and worked on for 32 years, it's the quality of that camp team, right? And I want to run through what I mean by that rather than just telling you that. So everybody at Kidventure is an adult. What I mean by that is you have to be 18 years of age to be a full-time counselor at Kidventure. Everyone is first aid and CPR certified, not one person. The state mandates one person has to be first aid CPR certified. At Kidventure, we think that everybody should. Everybody has a background check yearly, all right? Not just once, but yearly. And we have low ratios. You will not find any lower ratios in the camp industry than at Kidventure. Why do I think that's important? Because the quality of a kid's experience at camp is directly proportional to the amount of interaction that child has with their counselor and with our staff. When we have lower ratios, camp is safer, camp is more purposeful, camp creates better opportunities for relationships and friendship building. It just makes total sense, right? All of our staff are in uniform. You will know immediately when you pull up to a Kidventure campsite that who the staff is. Our counselors are in red shirts, our directors are in blue shirts, highly identifiable. They all wear a big name badge with their name on it. And on the back side of that name badge, they have a list of all their campers and any allergies or anything like that so that they can appropriately care for your child. We go through a lot of training, you guys, and we do that for a variety of reasons that seem um, on the surface, really understandable. But we're doing things like special needs training. We're doing things like social and behavioral work. We're trying to instill in our staff and provide them with the best tools so that they can care for your child. And I'll be honest with you, the majority of our staff who come to Kidventure that we hire are people that are engaged in the lives of kids. They're either teachers, they're education students, they're involved in social work. These are people that want to be a part of the lives of kids outside of Kidventure. They come to Kidventure because if they're a teacher, they get to teach in a way where they get to let their hair down in the summertime. They get to be hands-on. They get to engage with the kids outside of a classroom setting. If they're an education student, they're there because they want to gain experience. They want to work with kids and help build their resume. And I think because of that, it provides a great opportunity for the best possible staff. And the most important thing is, look, they love to share their time and talents with their kids, right? That's the most important part of that. Nicole, anything else you want to add about the team?
I mean, our staff is at the core of everything that we do here at Kidventure. Of course, they prioritize safety utmost, but to have someone who gets pied in the face 1 second with shaving cream and is out the door running an orderly car line within 2 minutes, it just and is high fiving kids as they go into the car with shaving cream everywhere. It just speaks to the amazing individuals that play a part in our campers' lives.
Nada, anything else to add to camp team?
We are currently hiring in all three teams. I mean, we see a lot of retention coming back from our staff. But if you know a nanny that you have in your family that will be a great person to add to the Kidventure team, right? A college student that's studying to be a teacher, psychology for kids. We're hiring right now all three cities. We have three positions essentially: adventure crew, counselor, and camp director. So please spread the word, and we're really excited. We put a lot of heart in our training, and we're really excited.
Great. Fantastic. All right. We have reached that point at the end of our presentation where we take questions from you guys. And I believe I can pull these in. Let's see here. There we go. All right, so our first question is mom to a potential discoverer here. Thank you for the context. Do you allow opportunities for parents to visit or observe during camp time, or are there opportunities for parents to join kids for activities or lunch? Typically, the answer to that question is no. And really, at the end of the day, it comes down to safety, right? We're super strict with who comes on our campus. Most of our programs are locked down. And we very much restrict who comes on to campus with our kids. There's great opportunity when you drop them off and when you pick them up to say hello and goodbye and give hugs and all that good stuff. But once in camp, we really restrict that to just the staff and the kids. However, we do take lots of pictures during the day. We send those pictures home. And I know as a parent, you want to try to connect on some level with your kid at camp. We have found that that's a really great way to do that. And so another reason you would want to download that app. Okay.
Mhm.
But thank you for the question. I really appreciate it. Are there any more questions? That's the only one I see on here right now, you guys.
Yeah,
Um,
and
I will cover a
a good
few
thing to
things that I
add.
know always come up. One of those things is lunches. At all of our campsites, you have the option to order off our lunch menu. It is an option. Um, we have vetted our caterers in all three cities really well over time, and we feel like we have really great lunch opportunities for our campers, the kind that are healthy and the kind that kids like to eat and participate in. So if that's something that would make life easier for you, we have lunch options, and those are on the website. You can find those there as well. Medications, if your child's taking medication during camp, we don't want to interrupt that. The director would be dispensing all medications, but a medical dosage form needs to be completed and turned into us prior to camp starting, and we'll make sure that all that happens. I don't know. Am I missing something
We
else, you guys,
also,
there? I'm going to bring
yeah.
everybody back together a little bit here.
Can you guys hear me?
I will say this, and this is a good time to do this because people are always looking to save a buck or get some credit in their account. When you register for Kidventure, I didn't mention this earlier, but I meant to. You're going to receive a unique link. It's called a family registration link. Okay, and you'll see that at the end of registration. And it'll be in your confirmation email. That link is special because you can send that link to your friends or family, and when they register, they get $10 off camp, and you get $10 in your account as a credit that you can use on tuition or merchandise or whatever. Okay, it's called it's a referral. It's like spreading the joy of Kidventure. Okay, it's super easy to do. You can post it on your social. You can email it to your friends, whatever. But keep in mind that that's there for you guys. Okay, they get $10 and you get $10 too. I think we had somebody, Nada, last year who had $500 in her account because she had referred so many people to Kidventure, and that's per week. So it's like if they sign up for 10 weeks, that's like $100 right there, if I'm doing my math right.
Yeah. I do want to touch a little bit on the mom
Are
that
you
asked
muted,
undiscovered.
Nate? I can't hear you.
I don't think I'm muted.
Nicole, can I hear you too?
Hello?
All right.
Can everybody hear me? Okay. Yeah, so something
Okay.
good
Sounds good. Just
to
me.
talk a little, yes, is you also regret you'll get a newsletter the week prior to your camp registration. In which have activities that they'll do that summer camp week, right? But they'll also have pictures of the staff. We try to keep very consistent staff all throughout the summer. But if this is going to be your first time summer week, and you want to see, oh, who's going to be working with my camper, the newsletter is going to be a good option for you to see the staff in that newsletter. So that is something that we do as well. So you'll get that newsletter the week prior of your registration.
Yeah, great point. Thank you for bringing that up. I'm going to go back to Q&A because we just now had a flood of questions come in, and I want to make sure we get those, you guys. All right, so here's the next one. Are there scholarship opportunities? Yes, we have a scholarship program. Okay, that information can be found on the website under the Parent Resource tab at the top of the page. The deadline for that, Nada, am I going to say April 1st? Am I wrong about that?
Yes, so we will, and you'll get a notification in April whether you got a scholarship for camp.
Okay, so you have the opportunity to apply for a scholarship at Kidventure at any of our camps by April 1st. Okay, that information is on the website. You can find that under the parent resource under scholarships. There you go. Great question. Next question. I'll pull this one in too. Is the cancellation policy just within 10 days of camp start date minus the deposit refund deadline, which is April 30th? Is that accurate? Nada, go ahead.
Yeah, so that is accurate. And the reason we say 10 days because on the 11th day the billing happens, and so once we do that billing, it's really hard. We really can't do the refund. So we tell parents if you're going to cancel, please call 10 days before your camp start date. so we can cancel and stop the processing of the payment.
Great. Thank you. All right. Let's move on to the next question. I don't know if this is a question, maybe more of a comment. Yes, thank you for covering allergies. I was curious about how y'all manage kids with food allergies. Look, yeah, we've had food allergies for 32 years straight. Every single camp, every single year, we have allergies. I think we do a really good job managing those. Why do we do those? Why do we manage that? Well, because we organize that information, give that to our counselors. They're brought up on whoever they have in their group that has an allergy. Where we run into trouble is when parents don't put allergies into the health section on the registration form. So if you have a kid with allergies and you want us to know that and you want us to help manage that, please make sure that you put that into the health section on there so that we can do our job, okay?
Yeah, I would also add that to please be specific with your allergies. We do see like peanut allergy, or any kind of nut allergy, and we then call parents to see if it's an airborne allergy, is it a digestive allergy, is it a touch allergy. That way we know how to treat that better. So if it's airborne, right, we need to be very specific on how we place campers for lunch. No cross contamination there. So we would ask parents to be specific in the registration system.
Yeah, good one. Okay. Any more questions? If so, you just drop them into that comment section. They'll appear for us on our end. Okay. I'm going to go back to all of us, you guys. All right. If if you think of a question, right, uh, please just reach out to us. I think one of the things we try to pride ourselves on is our customer service. We want to make sure that your camp experience, just as well as your campers' camp experience, is of the highest level. So please just reach out to us. Happy to help you in any way, answer your questions, spend time with you on the phone. We're going to be doing a series of these um, webinars or live streams, and we'll do one on discovers. We'll drill down more. We'll do one on explorers and leads, and then when we get closer to the summer, we'll do one on sort of what to expect on your first day of camp, all the things like what to bring, how to dress, all that good stuff like that. But any of that information is on the website. If there's something that you really want to talk more about or want to drill down with, once again, I want to repeat myself by saying just reach out to us. You're not going to get a bot. You're going to get a real live person who cares about you and wants to help you out with camp. And with that, Nicole, do you want to any last parting words? Anything you want to say to anybody as we head into the 2026 camp season?
I appreciate everyone taking the time to listen today. And whether you're watching this back at a later date, we could not be more excited for this summer, and to see Game On come to life and experience new field trips and new sites and new staff members. And it's for, I think we say this every year, but I truly think this one's going to be a summer to remember. And I'm waiting for June to start already. I like wish it was here. I'm ready for the hot weather. I'm ready for camp to start. Like, let's go.
Nada, any closing comments?
Yeah, I'm really excited with our new campsite, new programs. I'm excited to see everybody. I think for all of us that work camp is a really rewarding thing when we see a camper come back every school year and they're just 3 inches taller. They're in a different program. So I'm really excited. I'm excited to reconnect with staff as well. They're truly the heart of camp and they make everything come to life. So I'm excited for that piece.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Now, you would think after 32 years, I would get maybe less excited about summer camp, but it's really the actual opposite. With every year that I've been a part of Kidventure, I get more and more excited. And the reason I think that is the case is because every year it seems like kids need camp more than ever before. And I honestly, from the bottom of my heart, believe that camp has this powerful opportunity to really make the lives of our kids richer, better, healthier, happier. And I think right now our kids probably need that more than ever before. And so it's just a privilege and an honor to be a part of it. And I can't thank all of our families enough for their support and for the staff that surrounds your kids. So thank you very much. All right. With that, if we have any other comments come in, we'll respond to those. as well. But thank you very much for taking your time. Once again, this is being recorded. Give us a few minutes and we'll post this thing back on there. And you can let everybody know that maybe didn't get a chance to watch this, that resource is available for them to view. And I want to wish everybody a great day. Thank you very much and have a wonderful day. Y'all take care.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.